Good morning, Irish coffee lovers. We're going to get you started this morning with what's happening right here in the US. Talk about some pot of gold. If you're ever going to stumble upon a bucket, the chances that it's filled to the brim with cash tend to be fairly slim. But if it's going to happen anywhere, you can bet it'll be in Miami. Police raided the home of Luis Hernandez Gonzalez, a suspected weed trafficker, on Tuesday night and found dozens of 5-gallon buckets filled with a total of more than $24 million in cash. This is the largest money seizure in the history of the police department. Luis and his sister Salma were taken into police custody on several drug and firearms charges following investigation by the Miami-Dade Police and the DEA. Following the tragic attacks in Istanbul Tuesday, the U.S. is now on high alert. U.S. intelligence experts are fairly confident that ISIS perpetrated the attack in Turkey, information that has led officials to ramp up security at American airports leading up to and throughout the 4th of July weekend. The Islamic State has called for increased attacks on Western powers throughout Ramadan. For context, the Night of Power, Ramadan's holiest night, falls on July 2nd, while the last day of the holiday is July 5th. This and increased battlefield setbacks for the terror group in Iraq and Syria have pushed a significant increase in security, including the deployment of heavily armed officers clad in full-body armor at several of the nation's busiest airports. Moving on to world news. The death count in the wake of the Istanbul terror attacks has now risen to 42, with a total of 239 injured and 128 still hospitalized. British counter-terror officials, as well as CIA Director John Brennan, have claimed that the nature of the attack suggests that ISIS is to blame. However, the group has not yet claimed responsibility and is not expected to do so. Nothing screams, "You're gonna love it here," like a sign reading, "Welcome to hell." And that's exactly what passengers saw when they stepped off the plane in Rio earlier this week. "Whoever comes to Rio de Janeiro will not be safe," read the banner, which was held by police and fire officials from the city. They claim that the government is not paying them and that the city is in a state of utter turmoil with widespread violence and danger. "We are in a meltdown," said one spokesperson for the police department. Just weeks away from the Olympic Games, it looks like Rio might just have a little bit of work ahead of them. On the election front, Nate Silver, the polling guru at the helm of 538, claimed yesterday that Hillary has a 79% chance of winning the White House in November. In case you're dubious of pollsters, Silver correctly predicted 49 out of 50 states in the 2008 election and accurately predicted all 50 in 2012. Seeing that it seems like he might know a thing or two about elections, Hillary's nearly 80% viability is certainly worrisome for the Trump campaign. If you thought there couldn't be anything interesting about a convention in Cleveland, Ohio, comprised almost entirely of old white men, think again. The Republican National Convention, expected to take place between July 18th and the 21st, is expecting thousands of angry protesters, and police and officials are now saying that the city is not adequately prepared to handle the incredibly dangerous threat and anticipated violence. For your market report, the S&P 500 was up another 1.7% at closing yesterday, as investors embrace a risk-on mentality after Brexit paranoia started to die out. Oil prices also climbed 4% yesterday following a larger than anticipated drawdown in U.S. crude supplies, taking the price of Brent above $50 a barrel. In sports, Colts star quarterback Andrew Luck has signed a $140 million contract to span 6 years, making him the highest paid player in the NFL. For culture news, Miss Teen USA, a part of the Miss Universe competition, announced yesterday that they would be removing their swimsuit modeling section and replacing it with an athletic wear competition in an effort to empower young women across the country. We hope you enjoyed your morning news with a kick, and if you did, be sure to share it with your now less informed coworkers and friends. Have a great day, and thanks for listening to this edition of Irish Coffee.